This is Young Boys preview. United top of the group. It's a dead rubber game, but it's a chance for Ralf Rangnick to implement his new style. Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Champions League preview. Joining me are two absolute giants of the Manchester United fan base.
I say that every week.
I do, because that's what we have on this channel, giants. To my right is Angelina Kelly. Ange, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute since me and you did a video. It used to be Watch Along Central, didn't you?
I know, back in the day.
When we had no technical difficulties at all, and it was all a well-oiled ship.
Good times.
Yeah, and now talking watch-alongs is the watch-along master himself.
Yeah.
Joe Smith.
Cool, mate. Watch-along master. Hello.
Yeah, man. How we doing, bro?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm liking the smell of sausages I'm getting from you. Because you've just had your breakfast,
I had a shower. Sorry about that. No, I've had breakfast in a
He's
Tupperware
wolfed
on
down
this
his
table.
breakfast to be with us, man. That's the dedication you get from Joe. Excited about this one, Joe?
I am excited. I mean, I don't really know what we're going to get. We'll get to predicted lineups in a bit, but I can't quite work out whether he's going to go complete, give everyone a rest, basically, or whether he's going to say, here's another chance to prove and to sort of see how people are adapting to his new techniques. It's going to be interesting to find out. But I think there's an excitement around every game at the minute, isn't there? New manager, those first sort of 10 games or so, obviously, unless you're losing them, there's that, I can't wait to watch United again, because you just want to see, is it changing? Is it new? Is it better? So, yeah, I'm really excited.
What have you made so far? I know it's only been one proper game in charge, but what have you made so far, Ange, of what Ralf Rangnick's trying to do?
I think it's just that positive impact that it's having. When I watched the game, was it absolutely groundbreaking? No, but could you already see an improvement? Yeah. So if you can see that after one game, it's bound to get you excited to think what the future could hold. I mean, I know that some people have been talking about, look at Chelsea this time last year and look what they ended up doing. I'm not getting that carried away with myself.
So you're saying we're going to win the Champions League?
Basically,
nailed on, right? Certain.
Yeah, you heard it here first. No.
Right.
But you kind of get into that mindset of something positive could come from this, even after one game. It's just nice to see, I think also what he's spoken about and how he was quite happy to be in the position and stuff like that. And I think it's just all quite encouraging. And I think the fact that he spoke so positively about the players and Ronaldo, because there's been so many people being haters, which I don't have time for. So, yeah, I just think all of it in general is just positive, and it seems like it's heading in the right direction. Whether it will or not, you don't know, but you've just got to try and be positive, because it can't get worse, surely.
No, we've had a difficult time, haven't we? I wanted to ask you, Joe, about... We saw with Rangnick how he had that 4-2-2-2 formation, and we will get into lineups in a minute. Now, do you expect him, for a game like this, where it's probably could be your last opportunity to sort of really shuffle your pack in terms of the season, do you think he's going to get his fringe players to stick to the system that he knows, or do you mix it up a bit because you're changing the team around, if that makes sense?
I think he would probably want every team that he plays to play the same way, just with interchangeable pieces. Yeah. I think the two, he mentioned the main reason he played that two up front was because Ronaldo sort of needed a second man with him. He needed a bit more support with him. And I think Ronaldo will probably play in this game because it's the Champions League. He wants to be, far and away the biggest Champions League goal scorer. He wants that record of most Champions League what's the word I'm thinking of? Most seasons of being the top scorer in the Champions League.
Right.
And after the Ballon d'Or and where he finished,
he needs a little bit of something, doesn't he? So I think he's going to want to play every game. Even though this is a dead rubber, he probably thinks I can get 2 goals in this. And, cementing myself as the top scorer in the Champions League, or, pushing towards that. But I do think that anyone who comes in is going to have to play the same way, because otherwise what's the point? I think Rangnick, he said before, he can be flexible with formations and stuff. He don't mind doing that. But he isn't flexible on the style of play. It's still pressing, it's still winning the ball back quickly, it's still playing high up, it's still, high intensity football, and that isn't going to change just because, Donny van der Beek's playing or, Erlanger's playing. Everyone's going to have to play the same way, and I think that's the whole point, isn't it? If he's instilling a culture and a style of play for the whole club over the next sort of 2.5 years at least, that we can't just abandon that, or not abandon that, but chop and change depending on who's playing. Everyone is expected to play that same way, and if you can't, then you don't stay.
I quite like that idea. I quite like the idea of everyone. It's like Barcelona used to do, didn't it? Everyone, from the kids to the adults to the the fringe players, you all play the Barca way or whatever. I'm not saying we're there yet, but I'm getting at.
After one game, we're there.
After one game, we're as good as Barca were ever. Yeah. One player who has shone, not just under Rangnick in that one game, but also previous couple of matches as well, is Fred. He's a talk of the town with his right-footed goal as well, which made me nearly fall down the Stretford end steps when I saw that one. What have you made of Fred's sort of rejuvenation, if that's the right word? I've
been shocked. But shocked in a nice way because, there's a reason why he was signed all those years ago, it seems. He clearly has talent. We just haven't really seen it. And I think I always do feel bad for him because it seems to be, he lets a goal in or he makes a mistake that ends up leading to us conceding, or there's just a few things that have gone against him. So I think it's nice to see things turning round for him. I always kind of root for him. But no, I think it's great. Whatever's happening, in that game, they got the best out of Fred. And if we can continue to do that, then hopefully he's going to prove his worth. Because I think it's safe to say, on the whole, he hasn't. We've seen these glimmers. But if we can consistently start to see the real Fred rock up, then maybe that would definitely ease some of the pressure, when we're looking at, areas that we need to improve on, maybe, purchases in midfield, stuff like that. Am I saying he can cure all the problems? Not at all, but it could definitely give us another option if we can see the real him.
Yeah, definitely. What have you made of it, Joe? Because there's a lot to like about Fred. I mean, you've done a few watch-alongs with him, but he has these 5-minute spells, doesn't he, where he just loses the plot for 5 minutes, but then he'll have another spell where he, you think he's getting hold of the ball, he's carrying the ball, he's doing those things you need someone to do midfield. And he was a favourite of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's certainly got off on the right foot with Ralf Rangnick. So there's a reason that these managers must rate him. And do you think we can see the level of consistency that Andrew was talking about that we need from him?
I think we've got a better chance of it with this style of play, with this system. I think one of his most underrated qualities, which I think is why so many people like him, he's so resilient. Not just like month by month, but like minute by minute in a game. He'll make a mistake and then do the exact same thing he just made a mistake doing 30 seconds later, and he'll make the same mistake again, and then he'll do it a third time, and he will never go, I'm not going to do that because I'm not capable of it. He will just try the same thing over and over again, and to a certain degree that is, idiocy, but to another degree it is a sort of an enviable quality of he backs himself, he doesn't change, he is who he is every single time, and he tries his hardest and all those things. But I think this style that we're playing now, where you're winning the ball and all of your teammates are closer to you by definition, we're not as stretched out, it's a more compact, controlled style. He can make a 5-yard pass 9 times out of 10, but he can make a 20-yard pass 6 times out of 10, and that isn't good enough. So when we were playing under Solskjaer, things were more stretched out. The nearest man to him is further away. He would struggle and he would make mistakes more often. If we're playing in this really tight, controlled sort of environment where we've got 7 players within a 20-yard circle and he wins the ball back, which he's so good at doing, he can just tap it to Jadon Sancho or tap it to McTominay or Bruno or Tellez, whoever it is. And more often than he used to, he's got an easy pass available to him, which he's pretty much capable of doing. So I think he's less likely to make mistakes in this sort of system, which will obviously get the best out of him. And I hope it can, because, like I said, he's such a likeable bloke, and everyone who talks about him says how nice he is, how funny he is. People get on with him. He's got this sort of like, almost like younger brother attitude to him, where people are saying, oh, that was a shot, wasn't it? That was a cross with your right foot.
Bruno seems to have adopted
everyone just sort of takes the mick out of him. People have a laugh with him, but in a nice way. I think, if we can get the best out of him, and I think this system can, then, we should have a pretty good player in there.
Also, what I've liked about Fred, and when we were going through those dark times, the Liverpool game, the City game, he was up for it.
Yeah.
He was the one who was shouting at his teammates. When I keep going on about this, but it mattered being at Old Trafford and seeing Ronaldo getting surrounded by Liverpool players after he kicked the ball at Curtis Jones, and only Fred and Bruno were getting involved. And you're like, that's not good enough. But Fred was there. Fred was there. He's not having people come in and try to bully his teammates. He is getting stuck in. He's always available. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't go hiding. You say.
True.
Yeah, if he gives the ball away, he doesn't like... No. So other players might go, well, don't give me the ball for a minute, I need a breather.
No, he's there
give it me again.
And again.
I've seen him as well, shouting at his teammates. I've seen him shouting at Paul Pogba for having a shot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you need a bit of that. He's got that mentality that... has been missing from Manchester United. So I agree with you. There is a lot to like about Fred, and he's putting in the performances as well that makes even his critics sort of stand up and go, okay, there's a player here. We'll get into the predicted 11. Ange, I'll start with you. Give us your team that you expect Ralf Rangnick to pick for the visit of Young Boys?
Okay, so it's probably not what I expect. Okay. But it's just more.
Is this your preferred or your predicted? Because sometimes we mix up. Is it a bit of both? What?
Not a bit of both, maybe. I just think it would be interesting.
Thanks for clearing out then.
Yeah, no worries.
Which was this?
It's neither. It's both and neither.
Yeah. In that, I just feel like it would be interesting to take it back to a formation that maybe you wouldn't expect him to go for, maybe one of the formations that you would have seen, maybe Carrick using had he have played this game, and just to see what he can get out of the players in those positions, do you know what I mean? But I just thought, some players are available. I would really like to see Greenwood up front. I do probably think Ronaldo will start, but I think it would be good to see Greenwood up front just because that is technically, back in the day before we got the first team, that is where he was absolutely shining, and I think it'd be really good to see him have that opportunity. I would still go with Sancho on the right just because I think from like a confidence building level, this is a game that you would like to think, although we have lost against Young Boys, it's a game that we're going to win and that a few goals can be scored, and maybe that is something for him. And yeah, just because as much as I love Ronaldo, back Ronaldo 100%, he's not going to be the future of this team.
No.
Those three players are going to be the future of this team. So I just think it would be a game where the pressure's not on too much, where you can just see how they work together. I think that Mata, he's probably gets about 3 minutes each season nowadays, but I just think it'd be nice for him to be in the mix. He does have, on a good day, he can create a brilliant pass, and I think having those young, more speedy players around him would help. Van der Beek, just because I feel sorry for the poor lad and he needs some minutes, really. But yeah, and of course Henderson in goal, just because I think it'd be good for De Gea to have a rest. And again, it's a game that's not that much pressure, and we do know that he's a very competent goalkeeper, and I'm sure that he'll be all right on the night. So
yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. As well, as I mentioned earlier, there's not going to be loads of games where Ralf Rangnick's going to get a chance, perhaps, to rest players, because once you get through this, you're into the knockout stage of Champions League, the FA Cup, we've already got a Villa game, which apparently Villa have got a manager that used to play for Liverpool, but no one's mentioned it in the media.
I saw a stat the other day, earlier this morning, about all the draws that United have had in cup competitions in the last few years, in domestic cups. We've had, I think of the 12 draws we've had, 9 of them have been against Premier League teams. And City got this time.
Swindon, innit?
Swindon, every single time they're getting Macclesfield or Swindon or Colchester or Leyton Orient or something. And we're getting Villa. Sorry, not that it matters to this, but...
No, it does matter. Go on, I like a good round.
No! Yeah. That's enough now. That's enough. But yeah, I like this team.
Warm balls, that's what it is.
Is it?
Yeah, trust me.
With the doctors.
Got some cream.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at there, and there's a good mix there because you've got some first-team players in the likes of Sancho and Rashford. You've got some sort of fringe players in the likes of Donny van der Beek, and I suppose you could put Tellers into that mix, even though he's been playing recently. And then you've got players that rarely ever play, like Henderson and Mata. I think there's a good balance there, and that could be how Ralf Rangnick decides to play it. Joe, I'll go to you. What's your predicted 11 for this team?
Mine's slightly more experimental than that. I've gone Henderson, Wan-Bissaka. Just think, give him a chance to see what he can do. He's coming back as well, so that makes sense. And then Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. The back five is, we would see that last season pretty regularly.
Yep.
I think he'll probably play Maguire just because you want some semblance of consistency,
stability.
Yeah,
I get that.
And Luke Shaw as well. Again, he maybe still not fit, but I think he might be fit by now. And if he is, it's a good game to bring him back in.
Yeah.
Maybe isn't quite the same intensity as you're going to get in the Premier League. Then I got Matic and Van der Beek. Same thing. I think they work together pretty well as a pair. They've trained together. They've done those behind closed door games together. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
And I think that can work. That makes sense to me as a partnership there, and it gives them both a chance to play a game. Then I've gone Lingard and Elanga, which is where it's slightly more experimental. But he obviously likes Elanga. He came on the other day. I think Ollie was a fan of his as well.
Yeah.
Scored a few goals in pre-season. Looked pretty sharp before he's injured. And then Jesse Lingard, another one who theoretically fits this style of play. He's a good presser of the ball. He's one of those, again, who probably his off-the-ball running, his off-the-ball movement is one of his best characteristics. So that would work well there. And then I've gone Ronaldo and Greenwood up front. I think, like we said before, Ronaldo wants to be the all-time top scorer in the Champions League, even after Messi's retired, let alone after he's retired. He wants to be the top scorer this season, all these things. And then I think Mason Greenwood, he spoke about giving him more minutes. And what better chance to do that than a game when, it's basically a free hit. We can't finish anywhere except top. And let's see how a few different players can play together.
Yeah, again, similar thing. You've got quite a strong team there. You've got a few that aren't always getting many opportunities, but you've got some that that are, especially defensively, that's pretty much been our regular back four on it for most of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I know it hasn't been under Ralf Rangnick, but yeah, Luke Shaw, I wasn't sure what the situation is with him. But
I took a bit of a gamble with that.
Yeah, but
we'll
you wouldn't think about that long. You don't know though, do you? Mine's a sort of mixture of both, really. I have gone a little bit turbo in defence there with Mengi and Bailly. I did have Phil Jones in there until producer Cameron for me. He's not even in the squad, so he's definitely not playing. So I've said that Mengi's giving him a start in the Champions League. Tellez, purely because I would have put Shaw in. I'm not sure what the situation is there. Not sure about Shaw, obviously. So Tellez is going in there. Wan-Bissaka, Henderson for the reasons you've mentioned, Ange, as well. Fred, I just feel like Fred can play every minute of every game. I don't think you lose anything from him, and I think
it's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
he never gets injured. Really,
no, that's what I like, and I think you deserve a little bit of credit. He's always there. He's always available,
ever present.
Yeah, he is. So I've stuck him and Matic together. I've gone with Lingard and Van der Beek, and I've gone Ronaldo and Greenwood up front as well. So, you've all mentioned there the various reasons why the likes of Donny and Jesse and Mason get a start. I agree with you, Joe. I don't think Ronaldo gets dropped for this because I think he'll want to play, and I think Ralf will want to keep him happy. And I think it's one of those games where you can just give him 70 minutes or something.
Yeah, and hopefully we can win this playing at sort of 60-70%.
Yeah.
And even if we don't win, who really cares? A decent performance. Yeah. Maybe it's 5 subs as well in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So by the end of the game, the team might be 2/3 youngsters.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to have too much of a kick-off if it's 1-1 or something, and players got to experiment.
I was tempted to put Alanga up front. I know he can play as a
I was.
I was in 2 minds. I thought he's had a little bit of a cameo the other day, and then maybe he'll give him a start. But I think Mason needs minutes as well, because he's not been playing a lot.
And I think it'll be good to see, if it is him and Ronaldo playing, alongside each other. I think that's one of the things that I was very excited to see when I heard that Ronaldo was coming back. To see how those two would play alongside each other.
We love them both, but they've not gelled yet, have they?
Not really.
There's not. They're two very good players.
They both just want to shoot all the time.
Yeah.
And I can see Ronaldo holding back his emotion when Mason takes another shot from the edge of the box.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a shot that goes close and everyone's like, giving him like.
But probably how players maybe felt frustrated towards Ronaldo when he first arrived, when he was a young kid.
You see, it's come full circle. Hey, Ronnie.
That's what you get, mate.
We'll have a look at the opposition. Obviously, we played them already. That loss over in Switzerland, that last-minute winner that they got. I think the 4th in the Swiss League, Joe, you were saying?
4th of 10.
4th of 10, so mid-table stability. Not doing too well, but we know that you can't just turn up against them and expect to get 3 points. I know we had the red card in the first leg, but they did beat us, so you've got to give them a certain amount of respect.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact the record isn't great, the fact that it was a bit of a smash and grab against us, wasn't it, last time?
Yeah.
If it weren't for the red card, we wouldn't have. Yeah, I don't think we'd have got. We'd have drawn, let alone won.
And the sort of the last minute mistake as well by Jesse, which more or less gave him the goal. Do you expect much from this team? Do you think that we have to be cautious? Or do you think we've got to be realistic and just say, come on?
Come on.
This is championship level almost.
Yeah, and also it's. The pressure's off, and they haven't got any pressure on them either because I don't think they can go through. I think they're certain to finish 4th, aren't they? So I'm not sure they can even have European football after this. So, or do they go into the Europa Conference anyway? Is what I'm thinking. I think their place is set.
Once it was assured we weren't getting involved in that, I stopped worrying about caring about it. Unfortunately,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've just got to win and just implement the style, keep working towards learning, how Rangnick wants to play, which is why I wouldn't be surprised to see a slightly stronger team than we've all picked. There is I can see the line of thinking where you go, I need my first team to be able to play like this.
Fair enough.
Let's play them again.
That's a good point.
I've gone for the rotation, obviously, because it's like you said, it's a dead rubber game. But at the same time, he might think that. But I just think you just got to beat him and just let's see some progress towards pressing for longer periods. We saw 30 minutes of really good stuff the other day against Palace. Let's see if we can see the full first half or 60 minutes this time.
Yeah.
Take it from there. But you just got to beat them, man. It's young boys. Come
on. They haven't got many good players, but not good players.
How dare you?
They haven't got many standout players.
You won't get a game for them.
I wouldn't.
You won't get a game for these.
Compared to me, they're will beaters. But one player we know about, he scored against us last season, was Jordan. It's called Pevok, or also Sabachu, so it depends how you want to pronounce it or which name you want to use. He plays for America. He scored that last-minute winner against us over in Switzerland. I mean, again, do you think there is an element of you just got to be careful because we've been found out, or like Joe said, do you think you just think, come on, at home, starting obviously with 11 men against them, we should be able to say these to the cleaners.
I mean, yeah, you've got to be cautious of him. He has scored like 5 Champions League goals, counting like qualifiers as well, which is great. But I don't think, he can't single-handedly carry that team through. And I would like to think that whilst that's a great number for him, we have got more quality than that. So, yeah, it's a player that you would keep your eye on, of course, when they're sat, doing the homework of things to watch. Of course, he's going to come up. But I would like to think, I would really hope and pray that, no disrespect to him, but it's somebody that we can handle and, take care of. Well, not take care of, that kind of
take care of him.
Take care of him.
Take him out. Take care of him.
No, it sounded a bit mafia in my head.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I was like, if you lay a finger on his head, I'll be coming to your door.
No, take care
mate.
of him.
Oh, yeah. Take care
right, okay. Well, the mafia references aside. What's your score? I'll stay with you, Ange. What's your score prediction?
I would really like a clean sheet. So I would, you know what? I'm going to go with a 3-0 win.
Oh, wow.
That's nice. A 3-0 win.
That'd be a very, very good start.
Ronaldo's
for Ralf
got
Rangnick.
to, score 2, like you said. Otherwise, it's going to be kick-off central. And, if him and Greenwood do end up starting and linking up, maybe, 2 for Ronaldo, 1 for Mason, that would be nice.
That'd be lovely, that, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'd be happy with that. What do you reckon, Joe? What do you think it's going to be?
I was going to say 3-0, so I'll say 4-0 instead.
Really?
Just to change up a little bit. Yeah, I think we'll beat them. And I know that obviously we did lose and it felt all scary and nervy we get in the group after we lost to them last time. But the stats of teams losing after conceding red cards is so ridiculously it's so hard not to lose after you've conceded a red card, or at least lose the remaining minutes, if you know what I mean. And I don't even think we would have lost that game, like you said, if it weren't for that, ridiculous mistake.
Also, the pitch was a bit of a factor. People don't like to mention that, but it's true.
But once you're down to 10 men, it is so hard as a professional team not to at least draw, and often you just lose. So, assuming we keep 10 men on the pitch, I think we'll beat them quite comfortably 4-0.
You're going 4-0, you're going 3-0. Right, I'll go 5-0.
I was going to say, don't be a Debbie Downer trying to say...
Clean sheets all round.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Back-to-back clean sheets, what's going on there? Ange, where can people find you?
Well, my name's Angelina Kelly, not that difficult to find. So if you want to find me, just search it.
In the yellow pages or whatever.
Yeah, just... search. You can find Ange all over social media. You know where to find her. Joe Smith, 93. There you go. Yeah, you know where to find me. J Martin. Tell us a little bit about what's going down on Paddock.
Got loads of stuff coming. We've got the watch along coming. It's going to be me. It's going to be Ange, and it's going to be Joe McGrath as well.
That's a dream team there, eh?
Yeah,
got everything you want there.
Your name from the Manc. And there's no other way of describing him. Not like Cam said something hideously offensive.
There isn't.
Earlier.
That's the only way to describe him, the right way to describe him.
And also, if you haven't checked it out already, check out Steve and Maram's video yesterday talking about Rangnick's tactics. It's an excellent video going through basically the changes we've seen already at Man United. So click on that if you haven't.
Yeah, don't forget as well, check out the membership section where you can join our competition, the 12 days of Paddock, where you can win yourself a PlayStation 5 amongst other prizes as well. And give us a subscribe. Let's get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. That's been Angelina Kelly. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay Motti. This has been the Young Boys preview. Thanks for watching.